So we're live on your Instagram and on the platforms. All right, everybody. Carlos G from Living a Life and
Keith Allen with Century 21 Island Life, living the island life, talking about the real keys again today. It's a somber time in the country. Everybody is sitting on pins and needles, wondering where their next step is going to be. Where should they go? How do they protect themselves? Do we isolate? Do we isolate ourselves? Do we stand on the sidelines and wait to see what the government's going to do? I think I can't pull myself away from the television right now, it seems like, and that's a sad commentary. Most people don't know where the next step is, but what we do know is we have to protect our elderly, we have to protect our folks that have infirmities that affect their systems, that weaken their immune system. Here in the Keys, we've been blessed with beautiful weather and warm weather, and they say that the warm weather is going to be a deterrent for this virus. I hope that's the case. And if you're looking for a place to hide out or ride out the hello there on Instagram, to ride out the storm, there's no better place than South Florida for year-round living, much less much more the coronavirus. They say that we should wash our hands regularly. They say that we should wash our clothes and our coats regularly, and our outward wearing clothes if you're in the cold environments. They say that we're supposed to avoid large crowds. They say we're supposed to protect our senior people. These are all things that we should do anyway throughout the year, whether the coronavirus is here or the influenza.
Yeah.
If we are diligent and try to protect ourselves from just a common cold, hopefully that will help most of us get through this. But we're going to rely on our healthcare professionals and our government leaders to stand up and step forward and bring us solutions to these problems. In South Florida, we're starting to see a few cases show up, but it's not terrorizing the community as of yet. In fact, I haven't seen a slowdown one bit in the Florida Keys. Traffic is long, restaurants are full, Robbie's people are feeding the tarpon, the fishing charters are still going out. We have seen a slowdown in interest in real estate to some degree. I hope it's not going to result in what we experienced in 2008. But if the stock market is down and the bond market is teetering, interest rates have been now slashed. Whether that will convey itself or work its way into the residential lending community, we hope it does. That may stimulate some interest in real estate, not only in Florida, but across the country. I do think, and this is just my personal opinion, I think that people will start to gravitate toward warmer climates because the warmer temperatures do kill the virus. And that's one of the things that they've been harping on the media is once summer hits, it will dampen the spread of this because it will kill the virus. Now, we've heard everything from take a sip of water every 15 minutes to keep any type of ingested viral things in the air. When it goes down into your system, it's supposed to, your body temperature and your body heat's supposed to kill it. I don't know if that's true or not, but it certainly is something that we should all do.
Yeah.
These things really, it's a conundrum for me personally, because I see my business has slowed down. I've seen people make offers and then pull out because they're wondering where this is going to go. Is it going to affect tourism? Is it going to affect my rental income on my rental properties? But at the same time, when there is fear in the marketplace, it creates opportunity. I don't mean to be a cannibal and take advantage of people's situations, but there are sellers out there that want to move out. There are sellers that want to move in. And when the market is somewhat depressed, sometimes opportunities present themselves. So we watch, we're diligent, we're keeping track of the marketplace. I tell my sellers, just hang in there, because there's nothing we can do to bring a buyer to the house that we're not already doing.
Yeah.
It's these outside external influences that are creating uncertainty in all markets. Do I sell off my stock? Do I take my money in cash? Should I put it in the bond market? Is it time now for pulling out of the stock market and moving into real estate? Because we know that the tangible, the real estate, that where you can spend the night, that's always going to have a value. No matter what the traders on Wall Street are doing, whether they're manipulating the stock market to create this frenzy of sell-off right now, which that's one of my personal pet peeves. I just think there's a lot of churning going on and a lot of profit taking going on right now. But I'm not a heavy investor, so I'm not an expert in that field. But it is disturbing when I see the market go up 1,800 points one day and then down 1,800 points the next day. There's artificial stimulation there. And I cannot wrap my head around it being solely the coronavirus. But that's another subject for another day for much more learned people than me. But
that's a good, that's a great intro, Keith. It's the reality of the situation right now. We're doing what we can to keep our social distance. We're not filming in our recording studio. We're filming out on the porch. We're pretty good 2.5 feet, 3 feet apart here. So it's enough for everybody to understand. The main thing really, to me, there's one thing that is really, when you turn on the media, they're just making this 3 times worse than it should be. That's the impression I get. And in fact, on Saturday, I was plugged on CNN all day, and I was like calling my wife, like, what's going on? Are the kids okay? All of that, because she's out of the state right now. And then yesterday I didn't watch TV at all, and I felt great. I was actually anxious on Saturday. Yesterday I had a cool day. I sat on the porch, played a little bit of guitar because I play guitar, and had a great, no anxiety filled day. And when you plug onto the media, it's getting blown out a bit out of proportion. And people should be calm. People should not be going to the grocery store. I think one of our realtors went to the Walmart in Homestead, because we do not have a Walmart in the Florida Keys. You guys, if you don't know that, there's no Walmart here. And she sent me pictures, and everything was empty.
I've tried to pick up Purell and toilet paper. I've been to Walgreens and CVS, Kmart, Winn-Dixie, Publix. It's almost like a feeding frenzy. And it's a sad thing. It's worse than any hurricane that I've ever experienced down here, that people are gobbling up supplies. And at the same time, we've got people down here that are on vacation.
Instagram, make sure you join our other channels to watch this on YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn.
They're picking up whatever they can pick up as far as staple items, and because we don't know what's coming. But what we do know is, if you're looking for a respite, you're looking for some fresh air, you're looking to get away from that grind of the big city or the mainland experience, come on down to the Keys. I'm not trying to tax our infrastructure down here, but I am saying that this is a place where there's plenty of fresh air, there's plenty of sunshine, yes. The temperatures are warm, and we're not heavily populated. Yes, our roads can be congested at times, but we have a population probably less than 80,000 in this county, so we are sparsely populated. We do share a little string of islands, 34, 35 miles, islands,
Yeah.
and about 120 some miles of keys.
Yeah.
But come down and experience it with us. Our businesses need your business. We need to continue to support our small businesses, especially because when we start closing down movie theaters and synagogues and churches and saying that groups of 50 or more are not allowed to meet, that's going to create a terrible strain on our economy. And those people that rely on hospitality, they're not going to be able to generate a paycheck. So we're going to have to rely on our government, I suppose. I hate to say that because I'm one that does not want government involved in anything, much less our social life or medicine. But we're going to have to sit through this and wait it out.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to isolate ourselves to some degree, but still stay in touch. We've got social media. We've got telephone. We can communicate with our family members. You can keep in touch with me on the internet. You can contact us through our email accounts, realkeys@bellsouth.net. If you have questions that you're concerned about right here in the Florida Keys, give us a call. Give me a email there, or go to the website. We have other information. We have weather information. We have tourism information. We have tide charts. We have things that may allow you to take a virtual vacation, even though you're not here. You can hop
see it,
on board and go take a look at a few houses and have something nice in your head as you go to sleep tonight.
Thinking about this.
Yeah.
And by the way, for those of you on Facebook, on the Live Island Life YouTube channel, those of you who are watching, if you have any questions about the Florida Keys, about the market, about what we're seeing out here, go ahead and plug your questions right there, or on Instagram here. Hi, Marilyn. Keys Breeze is there. If you have any questions, please ask your questions here, and we can try to answer any questions that you may have on the live call. So, So Keith, let's just pivot now, trying to give people something else other than coronavirus, right? When you're coming, trying to figure out how to decide the type of agent I want to work with. Let's just forget about coronavirus. Let's just think positive and think about the future, really. How do they go? What's your
business is going to continue?
Good market, bad market, yes.
Yeah, good market, bad market. We will adjust. We are Americans. We'll get through this.
Rise above.
A lot of people say, well, Keith, I've been looking for the last 3 or 4 years. Well, that's scary to me because should have bought something by then. But they always say, well, I don't really want to commit to one agent. And I'm going, well, why not? And I tell them, I said, if you give your loyalty to a particular agent, let them know what you expect of them. They're going to reciprocate. That's the business relationship in any business, whether it's accounting or law or healthcare. You have to put your trust into someone. And if you play the field and you go to this guy and you go to this girl and you're not loyal, you're not going to get what you need from a real estate professional. We recognize this right away. So we get accused sometimes of only showing our listings. If you find an agent that's only interested in presenting their listings, I think you're doing yourself a disservice and you're missing things.
Absolutely.
Find an agent that'll show you everything. But in order for them to show you everything, you've got to be honest with them and tell them what it is that really pushes your buttons, what you're looking for, what you can afford. The price thing is one thing that buyers always shy away from, but we know the marketplace. We know where the values are. If you let me know what your comfort zone is or what your level of pain is for some people, that's where we can start. We ask lots of questions. We ask hard questions, but you need to be forthright and let us know, so that we don't waste your time or our time. that's the nuts and bolts of it all. It's a good, honest business if you find somebody that you can trust and you can work with them and trust them with your dream of paradise. And that's what it is.
In here, not to cut you off, but just to kind of add this. By the way, if you're just joining on Instagram, on YouTube, if you want to have any questions, you can go ahead and ask live the questions you have, and we can try to answer for you. If you watch later, just make sure you reach out to Keith on his email, on your social media platforms. You on the Instagram, on the Facebook, on the LinkedIn, on the Live on a Life page. Ask any questions. You guys on Keith's Facebook that are watching, if you have any questions, type it in, and we'll see you right here on the spot. Especially right now in this moment of crisis, one thing I want to, there's over 1,400 agents in the Florida Keys board.
Well, there's 3 boards.
3 boards, right? But there's a total of 1,400.
Give or take.
Give or take.
Give or day, yeah. And the Upper Keys, we're dealing primarily with around 600.
Explain, folks, Upper Keys, what's that entail?
Upper Keys typically is from Key Largo just down to Duck Key or Marathon, and then you start to bleed into the Middle Keys, and that would be Marathon, Big Pine, and some of the Lower Keys. And you have Key West and the Lower Keys.
Okay.
And we have 3 different boards that work together. We have the same MLS, so we have access. So I can take a buyer through one of my offices in the Lower Keys, not my office, but the company's office, and service clients in the Lower Keys that are looking for Lower Keys properties. And if I don't feel like I'm doing a good enough job for you, if I'm not versed in the particular property, I'll put you with one of our agents from one of the Lower Keys or Middle Keys offices. I personally work from Key Largo and Isla Mirada and Plantation Key down to Marathon. And I handle Duck Key and Long Key and Lower Matacumby, all the Matacumbys, Upper and Lower, Winley Key and Plantation Key, which is the heart of the village.
And you've been doing this in the Keys for almost 25 years.
Yeah, the 20th is my 25th anniversary.
Yes.
But you say, how do I pick a realtor from all these people? Well, as you know, as in any professional service, the best way is through a referral. If you have a trusted friend or advisor that has worked with someone and has had success and has trusted that person with one of the biggest decisions of their financial life, and that is a purchase of real estate, talk to that person. Find out who they used, why they used them, what kind of turnaround time it took, but be honest about it. Tell them, what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Study the marketplace. I mean, it's not hard to find out with all the data that's available to us today through Zillow and Trulia and Realtor.com. And the Florida Keys MLS has its own website, FloridaKeysMLS.com. You can go directly right to the heart of the matter. And if you see a listing that you like, it'll take you to that specific agent. But find out who's selling and listing the properties. Sometimes it's as simple as counting the signs in the neighborhood that you found that you like.
Yes.
I mean, and then find out what the turnover rate is. The days on the market is not always a good barometer. These are discretionary properties in the Florida Keys. Most of these homes are 3rd or 4th homes for these owners. So they don't have to sell, and they certainly didn't have to buy. So a lot of times they will put a pie in the sky price tag on a property, and it may take them, 180 days to, quite frankly, come to their senses, to find out, what the market is going to tell them. We can do all the market analysis we possibly can. We can show them the comparable sales. We can take them down through the neighborhoods and show you what sold and what sold for less and what sold for more. It's ultimately the seller's choice, though, as to what the purchase price is. It's rare that you're going to get a realtor to specifically give you a specific number unless they're working in a single agency situation with you.
But it's so important, and I'm going to give you an example. When I moved to the Keys, the first year I rented because I wasn't sure what part of the Keys I wanted to live, right? So I rented a house. And then I bought a house last year here. When I left that house, I told my landlord, which I was renting from, and say, hey, listen, I'm an agent as well at Century 21. We have 5 offices. I'm going to tell you something. And I almost bought that house, but his price was not in line with the market. And I said, if you let me list your house, here's what I'm going to do. This is the price of your house. I'm in the business. I've been here looking for a year. I did exactly what a lot of people should be doing when they come here. Take your time, look around. I know your house should be priced in this range. And what a lot of time it happens is the price has the home seller has this pie in the sky idea of what the price is, and the real estate agent, especially if they're new into it, they don't have much experience on the market, they will go along with that. And the only thing that happens is that the house will sit on the market. Period. It doesn't matter how nice the house is, it's going to sit on the market. So almost a year now, the house is on the market with the realtor and the seller that came up with a price that it didn't make any sense. There has been 4 price reductions. It's now within 30,000 where I suggested the price should be, and I watch it because it's my business as well. And I'm pretty sure it's going to go down to the price to the penny that I've suggested. So it's very important to listen to your agent that has been on the market for a long time and understand that barometer. Otherwise, it's that your house is going to sit there. It's a decision you got to make it. We really want to sell, take advantage of the low interest rates and the economy that's doing good. Of course, coronavirus is going to cause all kinds of issues in there, but at the end of the day, these houses are here, they have been here, and you got to take an opportunity. So it's important that you have that conversation with your agent and choose an agent with a lot of experience so you can have an educated conversation, not a pie in the sky conversation. You wouldn't go into business with anybody that doesn't have an experience on that particular business that you're going to. Same thing in real estate, and it happens a lot, Keith. Am I right, or am I right?
Well, we have stale listings that come on the market and have been on the market for hundreds of days. Clearly, the motivation factor is not in place. The seller says, this is my price, this is what I want, and if you want what I've got, you'll pay what I want. And that's perfectly fine. If you're working with a seasoned agent, they're going to recognize those things. You should go take a look at those houses, though. Take a look at the ones that have been on the market for 180 to 280, 380 days, and find out for yourself why it hasn't sold yet.
Yeah.
I mean, because sometimes a stale listing, you just catch the seller on the right day and you make them the offer. Some people think, well, I'm going to put it up there, and in the first offer that comes along that's anywhere within 20%, then I'm going to take it serious. Buyers don't know that.
Interesting.
But a seasoned agent
knows that.
Will recognize that. But days on market, though, is misleading. Sometimes a seller will change agents thinking that it's going to change the listing days on market. It doesn't. Our tracking systems through our multiple listing service can tell any consumer from any website how many days on the market it's been, how long, when the price changes took effect, all the way down to when a picture was changed. I mean, there's such a thing as too much information. Well, the internet has given buyers more information than we ever dreamed they would have. From the days back when we used to have a book in our hand, the MLS book, and we had black and white pictures, to now they know more about what's on the market than we do if we don't check the hot sheet every morning.
Exactly.
But you talked about picking that agent. There's a plethora of reasons someone would pick an agent. But my pet peeve in the business, and quite frankly, I believe it's the worst reason to pick an agent, is nepotism.
Yes.
When people pick a family member or a relative or someone thinking that they're going to save on the commission or keep it in the family, if they're not actively involved in this market, they're doing you a disservice.
Yes.
People from Dade and Broward and Palm Beach and Lee, Marion, all up and down Florida, come down here and they play real estate. I don't go to West Palm Beach and present myself as an expert And I really wouldn't expect those people up there to come down here to present themselves. We have issues down here that are completely local to the Florida
To the
Keys.
Keys, yeah.
I mean, some of those issues spread across county lines, but we have downstairs enclosure issues. We have the CCCL, which is a coastal construction line. We have community inspections. We have base flood elevation issues. Our flood maps have just changed again. You need to understand what a non-conforming house is. You're not going to be arrested and spend time in jail if you have an illegal downstairs, but you may not get flood insurance.
Yeah.
Flood insurance is another thing that we battle with on a day-to-day basis down here, because once a home gets its certificate of occupancy, or CO in the local slang, sellers tend to go in and put in an apartment or put in a game room or go in and put in a place for a relative.
A
to
recording
stay,
studio.
or a recording studio. Or they may decide, well, this is found money if I can find a tenant to rent half of my house out and pay the mortgage for me. You need a professional that can recognize these things, that can look at the basic information provided, such as an elevation certificate, such as a flood zone map, find out where these areas are, and try to locate the original plans for a house so that you can determine if the home was pre-firm. FIRM, it's an acronym, Flood Insurance Rate Map.
That's good.
If a home was permitted before January 1st, 1975 in Monroe County, then it's considered pre-firm. It doesn't give a get out of jail free card, forgive the pun, but it does state that if a home was permitted in a way that is non-conforming to the current FEMA guidelines, it can stay until it's destroyed or improved more than 49%. Then the structure will be reevaluated to determine if the downstairs below flood non-conforming area can stay. Now, I just hit a bunch of buzzwords there. If you have questions and you don't understand these terms, drop me a line, realkeys@bellsouth.net, REALKEYS@bellsouth.net. I'll be happy to get you the answers. And if I don't have the answers, I will get the answers for you as soon as possible.
I not many people, I can't tell you, realtors coming from Fort Lauderdale, Miami, they would have a hard time figuring out what that is.
Some of them are very qualified, and
Yeah.
I won't take anything away from someone who comes down here on a regular basis. But if they have a shingle hung down here and they've got an office down here and they work this market every day and they're members of our board of
They would know.
realtors and they're members of our multiple listing service, then my hat's off to you, because you're putting in the same time and the same hours and you're paying your dues here. Then come on down. And I invite as many realtors in Florida that want to become members of our Florida Keys Board of Realtors. We have a strong board. We have good leadership. We have excellent administrative staff, and they're here to help us through situations on a day-to-day basis. We left off at where? Nepotism.
Nepotism.
Yeah, well, to follow up on that, I gotta say, no matter where you are, whether it's in Palm Beach County or Fort Lauderdale or North Carolina, home cooking is always best. Pick somebody who's local. If it's a title company, if you're going to close your property, don't hire a title company from 2 counties over. Hire a local title company to handle your escrow account money, to handle the closing. They've seen it all. They know what's going to happen. They know how to handle issues that pop up at the 11th hour, which a lot of times they do. It's bad enough that we have lenders from all over the country that don't understand our property down here and what the flood elevations are and what the downstairs enclosure being non-conforming means. But these title agencies here in the Keys, and I have a whole list of approved title companies that I use religiously. Not 1, not 2. I have 5 or 6. I have my favorites, and I'll tell you them. But you got to give me a note. Send me a note on the Real Keys at bellsouth.net. I can't publish my hot list, so to speak. But there are a great number of solid title agencies and lawyers. Lawyers in the Florida Keys handle a great deal of title work. Some of them have in-house title companies. If you're a person that prefers to have someone with a Juris Doctorate and wants a lawyer, then we have a fine group of lawyers in Monroe County that do real estate, and some of them just do solely real estate. They do property management issues. They do evictions. They do things like probate and estate planning, but they are some fine real estate attorneys down here. I come from a publishing background in the legal industry, and I worked with a lot of these in a previous life. But on that same subject, ask an attorney if you have local representation. Ask your accountant. Ask a title company. Who do you do most of your closings with? Those people can give you a barometer reading of who they see through their office the most. Those are the people that you want to be working with.
Yes.
People that turn the properties over, sell properties, get listings, turn them over, get the goals reached of sellers and buyers out there.
And it's really the full timers that really generate income as a full-time job in the profession of real estate.
Well, and I was a newbie one time, and I gotta say, if you meet a young or new, or doesn't have to be young in age, but a fresh real estate agent with a new license, sometimes you will find one that is so diligent and works so hard and is so determined to be successful that they can get the job done for you. They're going to have an energy about them. So I don't want to take away anything from a new agent out there. But if you want to get it right the first time, give us a call.
Yeah.
305-481-5544. I've been there and done it and seen it, and I can get you through most of the issues that we have down here. And if I can, I know who we can go to get us through, from land use specialists to title companies, law firms, surveyors, home inspectors, plumbers, air conditioning. When you've worked in the business as long as I have, you've seen who to call and you know who not to call. And that's one of the reasons why you want to work with a seasoned professional that recognizes the pitfalls before you get to them.
You don't want problems, on these transactions. Everyone on the Instagram, on the Facebook, on the Living a Life page, all over. If you have any questions, make sure you send us here. If not, you can get a hold of Keith right here on realkeys@bellsouth.net or www.therealkeys.com. We broadcast this once a week. We're doing it Fridays, but this whole coronavirus changed our schedule a little bit. But we aim to come here once a week and give you information about the Florida Keys, about real estate, with Keith Allen, that has a tremendous amount of experience in this market, has been doing this for a long time. And from a marketing perspective, I'm an agent as well with Century 21, but my focus is really on the marketing side. One other thing that I want to add, Keith, to everything you said is the online marketing, the social media marketing, the video marketing. If you're looking out there to find, especially for you home sellers, you're trying to figure out, how much of a exposure your home is going to sell, I would say go onto social media and look at the brokerages and at the agents that are active, because all agents have access to the MLS. The MLS distributes those listings to a lot of websites out there. That's kind of like the bread and butter. Everybody does that. You really need to look into beyond that. What is it in addition to that MLS service, in addition to the Realtor, the Zillows? What else is your particular agent or brokerage offering to you that nobody else is doing in the market? And I tend to focus on this online marketing because I do think Century 21 is a cut above the rest right now. Out of the top 10 Instagram accounts in the Florida Keys, 6 now are with Century 21 agents. We have the #1 YouTube real estate account in the Florida Keys. We have the #1 podcast that talks about the Florida Keys. We now started this show with Keith Allen every Friday to specifically highlight Keith's experiences and knowledge in this market, because I think it's tremendously needed, and that's an advantage that helps and provides a level above in terms of marketing for your property.
I want to interject something. A lot of people say, well, I hired you to sell my house. You didn't. You hired me to cause the sale of your house.
That's a good point.
When we sell the house and cause the sale of the house, we are the happiest ones because we kept the whole commission. We got both sides. And that's when my wife gets a new car.
That's when magic happens.
But no, you hire a broker to present your home to the market in its highest and best. And your responsibility is help that person do that. How do I prepare my home so that it can be presented to the marketplace in its highest and best form? But you're hiring a broker to cause the sale of the home.
Yeah.
And when Carlos talked about social media, that's where we're the best at. We find all the different outlets. If you have a home with a tennis court, I'm likely to put your home in Tennis Magazine.
Mm-hmm.
These kind of things are what we do. We focus in on the attributes of the home and we present them to the marketplace where they can most readily be found, and try to find you a buyer in the shortest amount of time for the most money, for the least inconvenience to you as a homeowner. That's like the holy grail of real estate. If we can accomplish those three things, we've done our job. But we're trying to cause the sale of your home. That is one of the things that I think is most important in our business that needs to be conveyed.
The marketing piece is extremely important. So for all of you that are watching right now, or they're going to watch later on Instagram, Facebook, make sure you go to Live Island Life TV. You see more of our online video platform where you can. It's basically a weekly podcast that we talk about marketing. You see videos there. You can hear from the agents. We're adding a lot of features to that product right now. And then you can ask Keith any questions on his email, realkeith@bellsouth.net. Make sure if you're on Instagram there, hi Sandy, hi Linda, hi Keith's Realty. Make sure you click on Keith's Instagram link and it will take you to the YouTube channel. Subscribe to that channel. Every time we put a video out there, you get the notification. You know what's going on. And we're going to talk about different topics every week on the real estate. And if you want to close with something else, Keith.
Next week, I don't want to burden everyone this week with too long a show, but next week I'm going to talk about how to prepare my home for sale, or how do I prepare my home for market. There's a lot of misconception out there. There's a lot of little things that could be done that could make you go a lot farther and stretch out your price quite a bit more. But a lot of sellers miss the boat. And I want to give you some pointers next week on how to prepare your home for sale.
All right, everybody. Thanks very much. Keith's number is 305-481-5544, therealkeys.com. And we enjoy to have you here. Make sure you make comments, talk about us, disagree, questions. If you have any questions about the keys, even if it's after this live, type it in the comments for us and we address it to you the next time. All right?
I'm looking forward to hearing from you.
Thanks very much. Bye-bye, Instagram. Bye, everybody. It was good to be with you and here. All right. We are done.